Ifrit.
David, let's go, man. You lie down every day. Come on, hurry up now.
Peter and John, David were beating on the door of the house and calling him to play. Before John shouted again, David was standing in front of both of them with a bat in his hand.
Where did you find the place today?
David had asked Peter as soon as he came.
Let go. I have found a cool place, and it is also very big. No one will come there to disturb us.
David and John also got a smile after listening to Peter. All three had now walked a path together.
Man, I am thinking, even in summer vacations, we should play cricket. I don't know why Mom-Dad thinks about going on vacation.
John took a ball out of his pocket and was telling everyone while tossing it in the air. That's when David's steps stopped at once.
Peter, where are you taking us? Mom had clearly said not to go to that place. It's a graveyard. Mom says people come here to get black magic and evil powers. Guys, I say we should leave now. We'll play the match some other time.
Seeing David stopping like this, Peter and John also got into thinking for a moment. Then John spoke.
Man, Peter, it's just going to be evening. Let's play for half an hour. Then we will leave. And we have only 3 people. One will bat, one will bowl, and the third will field. What to think so much in this? Anyway, we are not in the graveyard. Rather play on the far side of the cemetery.
John walked towards the graveyard telling everyone. And just behind him is Peter. But David's courage was still dying. But seeing the rest leaving, David also walked with everyone without thinking anything. There was a small empty ground behind the graveyards, where all 3 had started playing cricket. David got the batting and John got the bowling. Poor Peter was fielding standing at the end of the ground. That's when David hits a shot, bringing the ball inside the graveyard. Everyone's senses fly away. The ball goes inside.
David, dude, what did you do? Now, who will bring the ball from inside?
One who sent the ball inside will get it.
Okay, then what's the use of the fielder? He should have stopped the ball, right?
Well, if you hit anywhere, how can I get it from anywhere?
The arguments of the 3 friends started. A bad argument broke out among the 3 regarding the ball. Suddenly, the ball itself came back from the graveyard. Seeing the ball coming back, all 3 were shocked. Then David said,
Looks like there's someone inside who's listening to us.
Saying this, David immediately picked up the ball and threw it back inside. The ball once again came back on its own. The 3 friends were convinced that there must be someone inside the cemetery.
Who's inside?
David shouted. But no sound came from that side of the wall. So on this, David again threw the ball inside the graveyard. The ball is back once again. Now, everyone was convinced that there must be someone inside the cemetery. The one giving back ball is just not speaking.
Will you play cricket with us?
This time David made a loud noise, but this time too his question went blank. All 3 were now restless. When no one was left, all 3 together climbed the wall of the cemetery and started peeping inside.
Where have you disappeared? Anybody there? Who was throwing the ball back? Just come in front.
David was making loud noises, calling out to someone. All the children could now calm down for a moment and sit on the wall of the cemetery and feel the silence of the whole cemetery. Everyone's eyes had stopped on a tree passing through the tombs, because from that tree, a kid of their age was swinging hanging upside down from the branch of the tree.
Well, then you were the one who was throwing our ball back.
Yeah, I threw the ball back.
So why didn't you answer our questions, even after we spoke so much?
Because then you'd invite me to play outside. And my father has strictly forbade me to go out of this graveyard. It is said that this is the real peace. It's very noisy outside. And in the end, everyone has to come here. So why go out of here?
Oh, why are you worrying? If you can't come out, then what happened? We have come in.
Saying this, 3 of them jumped inside the cemetery. But now, everyone's eyes were longing for an empty field where they could play. On this, the child who was already inside the cemetery said himself,
What happened? Are you looking for a place to play? Come on behind me. I'll take you to a place.
Saying this, the child took Peter, David, and John along with him and walked towards an empty field. The place was good, but it was on the other side of the cemetery. Everyone had just started playing cricket when it was evening, so the three said in whispers to each other,
Now soon, we should go home. Otherwise, Mom will be very angry. Okay, now we'll go. We'll come again tomorrow to play with you.
David and Peter followed him as soon as John told him. But now the situation had completely changed. The three friends had just gone a few steps away, that all three of them started flying in the air at once.
David, what is happening to all of us? Who threw us in the air?
I don't know. Who's doing all this, Peter?
All the children were getting scared. Everyone's life was stuck in their throat. That's when John shouted and said,
Peter and David, look at that child. He is only doing all this.
At the behest of John, when David and Peter also saw that child, his eyes were closed, and he was constantly turning into a huge monster, muttering some spell. Seeing this, all the children started sobbing in the air. Their death was now clearly visible to him. The child, who was playing cricket with Peter, John, and David a while back, that child had now taken the form of a terrible monster.
Who are you? And what do you want from us?
Whatever you want, I will get you from my dad. Please let us go.
David and Peter were crying to that monster, but that monster did not listen to any of the three children.
I am monster, and you three are my victims. Now no one can save you from me.
Saying this, Monster flew straight to Peter, and holding him by the neck started sucking all the blood from his body. Seeing Peter suffering in front of him, John and David's soul trembled. Seeing Monster killing Peter so mercilessly, David and John's blood started drying out of fear. Monster had sucked all the blood from Peter's body, but Peter's dead body was still fluttering in the air. After killing Peter, Monster's next victim was John. Monster did to John what he had done to Peter. Monster first grabbed John's head and broke both his eyes. Seeing John suffering, tears could not stop in David's eyes. And then Monster killed John, drinking all the blood in his body in front of David's eyes. Seeing the cruelty with Peter and the barbarianism of John, David suffered a heart attack due to fear. David has a sudden heart attack. The monster just touched David, but David was already dead. But Monster did not even leave David's dead body. He also did to him what he had done to Peter and John together. The dead bodies of all three were now swaying in the air. Drinking the blood of the three children, Monster had already become stronger and stronger. He immediately chanted some mantras, and three graves were built on the ground. And the very next moment, the dead bodies of the three children were buried inside the grave forever. Then the monster also hanged upside down on the tree and slowly disappeared. The news of the disappearance of all three children in the entire colony spread like a fire. The matter reached the CBI, but no one could find the children. But you and I know that after all those children were killed by Demon, actually Demon is mentioned in the Quran. Demon is very powerful and smart. They live with us in our own world, among us. It has only one purpose in the world, that it can promote its tribe and its species, and can create such a demon, which will one day make humans its slaves and rule over humanity. But it has been written in many places that because of black magic, Demon can be killed and has also been killed. But in today's world, this knowledge is getting extinct, or a lot of illusions or deceptions are being spread in the name of demon. And the one who has actually seen demon is not alive to tell anyone